Oh, why? Okay, anyways. I'm going to start with a new video and new channel in general. And first video that I'm going to do is job market in 2024 and 2025. And if in case you don't know me yet, you probably don't because this channel is brand new. My name is Mike March, and I'm going to talk about job related topics and job search in general. Without further ado, I guess we can get started with the first slide. And so very important is when you're doing this kind of job search in general, then many people say that, oh, they are not political, or oh, I don't want to follow the news because it's extra work for me and it's like keeping me stressed out and so on. Like everything that you can make up millions of excuses why not to follow the news, and politicians, they are not speaking correctly about stuff and so on. Of course they don't, but still that's not the issue here. The issue is that you still have to follow the news because that's the root cause of every kind of sub search. And as you can see from the slide already, that there are some points about it that is leading towards some specific topics that I figured out. Right now, just a brief story about me. I'm currently employed, and I was having a lot of job searches in the past, and also I've been working in different places in Western society. This related channel is mostly about the Western society because I think in the third world countries, of course I don't want to discriminate or anything, but the thing is that the job search there is very different from what we have in the West. And maybe in case I will do a future video or something, then maybe I can also cover this topic about how to search job in these kind of countries as well. But this channel is mostly about searching for the office work and searching for the job in the Western world. And right now, even Western world is not doing very well. So that's the issue, that job market right now is in a pretty bad state. There's war, there's recession, mass immigrations, all these things that are affecting our economy. But let's dive into the first lane here. As we can see, there's wars. And the biggest wars right now are the one between Russia and Ukraine, and the other one is between Israel and Lebanon right now. And I guess Israel will go further with this because it seems like they are not done with their anger yet about their people being bombed there, and they want to create kind of like a buffer zone. But at the same time, the other people, like Israel, I think is a very big dilemma there because these guys, they get bombed, their own people get bombed, but they also kill other civilians in Palestine and other places. So that's not good, and I don't think either side there is correct. But in Russian and Ukrainian war, this is a much deeper topic, and that means that it's much more black and white, that Russia attacked Ukraine and Ukraine defends their country, right? That's how easy it is. So basically, I support Ukraine, but obviously, I don't like Russia, so and especially when they attack countries like that, it's not good for the society. And what it does is I think Israel war also affects economy in the Western world as well, because Israel is a big ally for the US, and US is one of the two biggest parts in the Western society. There is European Union and there is US. So basically, if it affects already US, it affects the trade. And the US is affected by that they are sending some troops there, maybe some aid, military aid, and support Israel for their doings. And also other donations go there to this Red Cross and everything like that as well. In general, it will affect all this economy in the world. And Russian and Ukrainian war is even bigger influence to the economy, because this one is actually like, let's say that Russia is basically trying to, right now they're sanctioned, but they have a lot of minerals and all this oil and stuff that they are selling to the Western society that they have sold for a long time. And of course there was sanctions introduced that actually they are effective in the long term, but not in the short term. And the other thing is that Russia is really good at evading those sanctions. So basically they are very good at bypassing those sanctions, and that's pretty bad for the economy, because it will generate these situations in this trade market, that basically job market is affected by this. Why is it affected? Let's say, for example, let's say that the country Finland, yes, if you having Finland, then maybe they sold a lot of parts to Russian rich people before, like and also German car manufacturers. Maybe they sold a lot of Mercedes, Volkswagens to Russia, a lot of BMWs to Russia before. Now they don't have this chance anymore, or they are doing it in a decreased scale. And I think also this war has influenced it due to the fact that Russia is trading more with China now than they were ever before. And this means that these German cars that Russia has, they're going to be maybe obsolete at some point in Russia, because they are buying right now cars from China, for example, and cars is a very big industry to buy from. And that affects our job markets as well. Let's say that maybe Mercedes or BMW or Volkswagen, they don't get that many orders anymore. And also, let's say that Finnish people, they are producing, they're investing in Russia before, but now they cannot invest anymore, and this money is like cancelled, or not cancelled, but I mean it comes with a decreased scale, and that's where the budgets come into the play. That the companies in the Western society, they cannot have that big of a budget for the stuff anymore. They cannot hire that many people. They cannot have invested resources for improving their businesses and everything like related to that. And that generates a problem with the new hires, because they don't want to hire more people. It would be a loss to the company. They won't get that much profit anymore about their dealings, because the trade was cut off with Russia, not fully cut off, but in a decreased scale, much decreased scale. So yeah, that affects that, and also those that was trading with Israel before. I don't know, maybe some countries had huge trades going there, or sold, I don't know, even alcohol there, or anything like that. So all these people and all these companies, they don't have that big of a proportion of investments anymore to these areas, and wars are difficult for everybody. Of course, it's more difficult for the Russian economics than it is for the Western economy, but in general it affects everybody, and more if it affects more of these countries that are actually closer to Russia. For example, Finland, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, all those countries that are there. And yeah, that's one reason why you should follow the news. Is this because you should know how is the job market going, and if they are willing to have new hires, or you will have to try harder to get the job. And that's very important information, and I will explain later why. Because yeah, I mean the general macroeconomics or economy is very important to follow, And the other news that can be very important for you is not only about the wars, but it's also about the recession in general. There was a like prediction that 2008 was our last recession, that we should have a recession by 2020 or 2019, something like that, even 2018, but they're speaking for it already 6 years, and it hasn't really stated yet that there is a recession in the world, or economic collapse or anything like that, but or there is no crisis yet. Let's say that the politicians are doing very well to cover it up, but actually it kind of already has happened. But the thing about this is that in the last recession or this crisis, what happened was that the banks, they went with the crisis, so they kind of like didn't give out any loans anymore. And now what is happening is that the banks are just still giving loans, and they don't have to worry about their profit because they are getting a lot of profit. So it doesn't really affect them, and that's why the bubble hasn't been bursted yet. And I think it's very important information because it's directly connected with the steps that the country will make. And the other thing that is influenced by the let's say the economy collapse is the utilities. And it's not only for the utilities for your own home, it's the utilities for everybody, for the manufacturers and every kind of industry as well. Because if there is a huge price for the utility, it's also, of course, it's connected with the war, like Russia cutting off this oil and exports and stuff like gas, natural gas, then it means that the utilities will become more expensive. And that's very big issue in the economy, that if the utilities are that expensive, then companies maybe are not producing that much because they cannot have their machines operating like 24/7. They have to pick a timeline where they can operate with them to be profitable. And that's almost like chasing every penny, right? And this means that the prices for manufacturing, like let's say that you're buying in the raw material and you're making a product out of it. The price of this product that you made out of it is higher already, and they are going to sell it to the retail industry, for example. And the retail industry is basically like a middleman that is putting their price also in between that, and their prices has also risen. So the prices from the manufacturers, the prices for even digging the raw materials, and the prices for the retail is very high. Or like, of course, it's not always about digging the raw materials. It's also about like collecting them and so on from the ground. But like let's say like potatoes, for example, right? Yeah, you can just pick them up, but still, it will require more resource to I don't know. Let's say that even use water to wash them or something like that. Anyways, yeah. So that is painting the picture in the sense of prices, that the prices are high, and we can actually feel it, that the prices are really high in this society. In the Western society, the prices are always, inflation is really high. In all the European Union countries and in the US, I guess, as well. And also in Russia, I think it's a big problem that they are, even them are like running a very big inflation right now. I think it's 17%, the latest news that I've seen. It's actually not good for them. So yeah, let's see where it goes. But the prices are affecting the salaries. So the salaries is basically means that your salary doesn't catch up with the prices. So the purchasing power of you is going to decrease, and the salary is something that you will need to be high or rise with the prices as well at the similar pace. But it doesn't, because obviously if the costs have risen before here in this first areas, then it doesn't really help your salary, and that's already affecting your family support. Let's say that you have kids, or you have even a wife or a girlfriend or even boyfriends and stuff. If and But anyways, even if you support only your mom and dad or something like that, then you will have less money to support them with, and that's already a big issue for all the households. And that what matters in the end for you. That's how news actually affects your family as well, because this when there's time of recession, your family is not in a very good that good of a state that it was before, when you were able to have high salary, buy more stuff, and so on. Yeah, and so also like I think wars is very influential in a sense that it's yeah, economy is very much influenced with this, and utilities. It basically is going to everything, and war is really bad thing to have in nowadays society. But I agree that I don't think it's good to have peace between Russia and Ukraine, because if there would be peace, then basically Russian history shows that they are going to attack again, and they might attack even like Baltics or I don't know, Finland instead of Ukraine next time, and that will be very bad. So you cannot really reason with this regime that they have right now, and that's something that you need to have a war with. Otherwise, it just isn't going to be uh, like collapsing or anything like that. I'm not sure about Israel and this situation about Lebanon and Israel and the conflict there. If it's better to make peace, but I think it is, because right now it's killing a lot of civilians there, and I don't see a reason why you should bomb either side. So, I mean, Israeli citizens should be safe from bombing, and the others also in Lebanon and in Gaza. I think like killing civilians like that is not, it's not good. Uh, I mean, every kind of people have their own story and so on. And yeah, even Russians, like some of them completely want are asking their government that why did you attack Ukraine, but their government is kind of like uh, deflecting them to speak about it. So yeah, that's about that. But anyways, let's go for the next topic here. There's mass immigration going on. That is another big news right now, or not really in the news, but we can all see it, that it's happening, and that generates the conflict. How it does generate the conflict, let me explain. And this one is about more about this, let's say, Islamic people coming to the Christian society or atheistic society. So, and it's not only Islamic; it's also about other cultures. And when the cultures collapse, it's usually a bad thing, because if you have millions and millions coming in, then it's the scale is too big. I mean, yeah, if it's like, let's say, tens of thousands of Islamic people in total, doesn't matter, because then, like, let's say that they are coming to France, right? Doesn't matter, because I mean, for you can have your own culture there. Christians can have their own. Everybody is respected and so on. But if you come in millions, then it would be like millions of Islamic people and millions of Christian people. That generates a conflict, because there's different views to the life. Because let's say that Islamic people, maybe they can have many wives or something like that, which is not tolerated in the Christian society, and there comes the conflict, right? It's not about the racism or anything. If you come in a small scale, then it doesn't matter where you come from. You are a human and you are a good guy. But if you come in a bigger scale, like let's say that you're going to send basically half of your country in the other country, then it becomes a problem. But of course, like, there is already conflict in this country, so they are usually fleeing because they are a refuge. or they search for better living conditions. So that way I respect them for sure, and I think it's in a small scale it's okay, but it has gone too big, and instead of like fixing their own society, they are fleeing to another country, and that's why I think that there is not so many actions in about their own country, but it's more about actions about other countries, and that generates the conflict because let's say that you're coming to France, right? You're coming in billions. They will generate a new like society, generating a new culture, but maybe French want to respect their own culture about it. Like they have those baguettes and everything like that, and the Eiffel Tower, and they want it to be France to be a romantic city and stuff like that. But how can it be romantic when, like in Islamic culture, maybe it's hidden the romance and stuff. So that generates a conflict. That one side wants to be more romantic, and the other side is like, let's keep our romance in the house. So I think that's not a good thing when you have mass immigration. Obviously, yes. If you have it in a small scale, then it's very okay to have a couple of people coming over. And it's not about racism. I'm repeating you, it's not about racism, it's about the culture. Keeping the culture, maintaining the culture of France as it is and as it was in the history. Because this culture has developed in 2000s of years, or even more than that. And basically, you are just going to ruin it with millions of people coming into France. And that's bad. So, yeah, I don't also like mass immigration. I like small immigration, yes, because it's enriching the society and makes people to think otherwise and so on. But I don't like the mass immigration. So yeah, there's the difference. And what it makes also that the mass immigration, it makes the competition, right? You are having more competition for your positions at work. Or in your subchurch, there you will see that there is a lot of applicants and so on because everybody lives there. Everybody is like having a living there. So I think the competition is higher. Your own people maybe not getting any jobs, and that will result into desperation and stress later, and that would be very bad. And this desperation is very bad because you will basically think of yourself lower as you actually are. So I don't think that this desperation is it's not a good thing, and apparently mass immigration causes it because that's the root cause for all these things. Those three are the root causes, remember, because that's basically recession is because politicians making bad decisions. Wars also because politicians making the bad decisions, but the mass immigration is something that you could change as a person, because if you fight for your own country first and then if it doesn't work you flee or you go to the other country, then it is okay. Or if you go in a small scale, let's say that you're coming from Libya, and from Libya you're coming to like Italy, then I mean, why would you choose Italy first of all? Choose Italy and then just bypass it, go to somewhere that doesn't go, that many immigrants doesn't go yet. Like go to some kind of like, I don't know, Sweden, for example. Why not? Oh, well, Sweden is very immigrated as well, but I mean, Norway, for example, of course there's difficult to live there, but you should be able to try that. And you will see that there's actually less immigrants there than it is in Italy. And in Italy it's a big problem, and in Norway maybe not that big of a problem yet. So I mean, as an immigrant, I would think this kind of direction if I was coming from Libya or something like that. So that's my thoughts about it. But obviously, like maybe I was a little bit too harsh on those people, since it is a very sensitive topic, and obviously, like there's many people watching the YouTube videos also that are from these countries. But that's the problem, that cultures are fading away. That's the main part of it that I wanted to say before. Yeah. Okay, and let's say that, okay, well, I'm like, I don't need to follow the news still, because I will just try harder. I will basically have a solution based mindset, and I will try harder to find a job. I will do everything in my power to find a good job and so on. So yeah, another issues with that is that it's not necessarily a bad thing when you try harder, because it gives you having a goal in the life, and that's very very good thing. And solution based mindset, I also agree with that. It's very very good, but you will run into next troubles with this, and let me explain why. It's because you will see in LinkedIn, for example, you see that 200 plus applicants have already had the same idea, that I will try harder, I will extend my job search and so on. Like, they have the same idea that you have, that they will try harder, they will do everything they can in their disposal to get the job. And yeah, so I think when you see this LinkedIn post and having 200 plus applicants there, you're first probably going to see that, yeah, this is not happening, that I will have to compete with like basically 200 other people for this job, for one position. And why would the company pick you out of this 200? And that's very very big issue actually nowadays. And that's what economy recession does. And also these other topics that I've posted before, it's also about the war and stuff. But wait, one thing that I didn't talk about war is that it actually generates new opportunities for the army. Let's say that you want to work in the army, and you want to do anything for the army. Like, I don't know, you're doing some drones for Ukraine, for example, and then you will have a way to start your own stuff and your own support for the war, and that might get you a lot of money in. And yeah, if you work as a like some kind of a higher rank in the army, and having a good salary there, because they need to have those guys to be ready against the invasion or against something, to the threat to the Western society. That's why I was bringing out the Ukraine and Russian war more, because it's a direct conflict in the Western society. In this in the Middle East, it's also nowadays it's UAE and Saudi Arabia and Qatar and everybody that is there is pretty developed countries there, and they are developing very very fast. And yeah, it's also a problem there with Israel, that if Israel is going too far with these attacks, then it will be a problem for everybody at the end. And let's see. So we're having 200 other applicants that have the same idea. We're having a very long job hunt because, well, obviously there might be not positions available that suits for you, or there's already too many applicants for the positions that you actually are based in, or you're having this application in, and your job hunt is taking too long. And that's a very bad thing, because you can only support your family so much, and if you're having a very long job hunt, it's very very bad. And you're not going to wait until let's say that they're talking about recession already for like 6 years and this crisis, and right now they haven't officially declared it yet, so we can even expect that maybe there will be another crisis very soon, and that means that another years are going to add about it. And being basically since the COVID time, 2020, jobless for like 4 years or more, it will be very very bad. So yeah, I think this long job hunt is a very very big topic about it, and it's very depressive and very getting you in a very desperate state. And what happens when there is a long job hunt? You will have maybe you are going to aim at some kind of like lower level jobs, but let's see about the entry and junior level jobs is that entry level jobs is very difficult to go to because you basically have your work first experience in the office, and there are some unwritten rules in the office, and newcomers don't really know them because obviously they haven't worked there, and I think that's why many companies also don't see them fit to the team, because they have a lot of theory because they have studied well and well, and some of them have finished very good like masters and stuff, all this getting all those diplomas. But in the reality, the job scene is very very different from what you learn from the school, and this entry level job is basically the first one to go for, and might be that even this entry level job might be even physical job. As for the example, if you for example work in let's say some kind of port in Gdansk or somewhere in Poland, and you will be there at the start as some kind of mechanic, for example, and they will see that you're doing very good job as a mechanic, and maybe later they are going to promote you to some kind of office level job there, or they usually have offices also near the harbors and ports. So yeah, I think this entry level job might be sometimes physical job, and physical job is not something that people will aim, especially those that are working in IT, very popular nowadays. And junior level jobs is also paid less than senior, obviously, but sometimes they call you junior even if you're switching job and you were senior in the other place. That's very very bad. But yeah, entry jobs, I will make another topic about it, probably that how to start in general, that if you're like going for your very very first job, then what you should prepare for. But that was basically the basics that I was speaking about, that you might have to go for the physical job, or you might have to go to some kind of practical training first, or maybe yeah, sometimes even work without any money for a year, and then they are going to see that if they are going to extend your contract or not. But yeah, I don't think it will be very difficult time right now to be entry level after the school, especially nowadays when basically your first job is based on what kind of diploma you have. And yeah, because if you have work experience, then maybe you can find another job, but if you don't have that, and you don't have diploma, then it might be very very difficult for you to get the office job. And that's the truth here. It's the office job is basically, usually it's the second job of the people, and those who have studied more, maybe it's the first job, but like getting their masters and PhDs. But yeah, I think this is another topic that I will have to cover, maybe some other video. And there is also wider and international search that you can do. That's what I was doing when I was searching for the job. I was going international, obviously, like aiming those good countries like Switzerland, Norway, all those that are paying well. But you know, not like I said here, like most of them have the same idea. Like most of these applicants have the same idea that, oh, Switzerland is going to pay you well. Yeah, let's apply there. But the thing about Switzerland is that they kind of need French or German for you to speak, right? And they are actually picking maybe people out based on these language skills that you might not have, and they're preferring maybe locals over you. So yeah, it's like, yeah, you are ready to move and know everything, but you know, why would they even bother? Especially when you're not from European Union, like why would they even bother? If they would be, if you're like, for example, let's say from Morocco, then you're not from European Union, And why would they bother to give you the job instead of giving it to some kind of Swiss guys or some kind of German guys that have those language skills? And so yeah, it's and there's not only 200 more applicants to the Switzerland, but there's also like 400 maybe. So the best countries are very contested to apply to. You might be clever and thinking that yeah, maybe I will think outside of the box. That let's apply, for example, to Netherlands, because Netherlands is this kind of like English speaking and so on. Like I can do that, and yeah, might work out actually. It's not a bad thing to have a wider and international search, but it's just some kind of obstacle that might come into the way, because in Netherlands also that there lives like 16 million people maybe. Well, anyways, there's over 10 million people there, so basically it's very contested area already. And if somebody comes from some other country, for example, from Italy or something, why would they bother to get you there instead of having some locals there that already have a living there or a place to live? So yeah, that's another thing that you should think about when you think that you will try harder to search for the job. And of course, like you're doing like extra trainings and studies to try harder. You are paying for these kind of services to have a good CV and like good training for the work environment, and you will be ready for the entry level and so on. Like, and you're having more studies. Like you're taking some training courses for like 4 months of IT, and then having to pay a lot of money for this. No, don't do that. Come on, guys. Like, who would pay 200 euros for 4 months of IT? Like, there's already free classes. You can watch YouTube videos even, like that one. You can just basically do it for free. And yeah, make your good CV and pay for the service is also another topic that I would cover. That no, it's not working like that, because you end up spending more than you actually gain from it, and that's very bad. Basically, now in nowadays world, everybody asks you money. Everybody, like no matter what you do, everybody will try to sell you some services or sell you some stuff. And even if it's job related. And trust me, in this channel, I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I just want to enlighten people, and I'm doing it as my hobby right now. So I have a job already. I'm very happy with it, and it's just a hobby for me right now. So I think, yeah, that's another topic that you might fail in this, and you might end up spending more than you actually gain from it. And yeah, I don't like this at all. That people are asking money nowadays for everything. That you have even, I think also. First you had those pirate pages that got you like Microsoft offices and stuff, but nowadays like every document is like in PDF already, so you might as well just use like Google Sheets and stuff. So what do I do then? Like well, like I'm out of ideas now. I was trying to try harder, and now you're telling me that it doesn't work. Well, what is your suggestions then? Okay, well, there is a lot of suggestions, but I'm going to make separate videos about them. Make a decent CV is like the basic information that you can get everywhere. It's all over the place. It's all over the internet. And yeah, make a good CV and then you will get tired. It's not that easy, because obviously if you have good CV, then you might shine out from the crowd. But if the employer watches your CV, they are going to watch your previous experience and your previous studies. That's the two things that they're going to watch. And that's why you don't need a good CV, but you need a decent CV. You need an informative CV, and in the CV thing, you have to be honest. You cannot put there like, I don't know, some languages that you don't speak, or some stuff that is just there, nice to have. Just be truthful about yourself, because it will come out in the probation period later when they discover that, oh, we hired you because you speak like, I don't know, Spanish, and then 2 months later you are actually not speaking in Spanish, and you're like, yeah, okay, I was just like trying to get this job and stuff. And they will realize it, and the employer will actually maybe end your probation period with this. So put truthful information and make a decent CV. Don't make a good CV, because don't spend too much time for this. It's basically, you need to have a decent CV, and you can apply the same CV all over the internet, and that's what you need. And another point is have a draft ready for a common motivation letter, because there is many positions that are repeating, like let's say that junior Java developer or something like that. Yeah, so let's have a common motivation letter ready for this position, because you will send the same motivation letter to every company that you have about this position. And also, if you're aiming like for the Python, for example, like junior Python developer, then have a CV ready for that as well. But I mean, not the CV, but the motivation letter. But anyways, sometimes with this motivation letter, there comes another problem, that many positions are not phrased the same way. And it's good when the companies actually see that you didn't just copy paste it, but you were actually thinking about this specific position. So everything that they list into their requirements, put it in the motivation letter. And that's a very good way to do it. And nowadays what really bothers me is that those big companies have their web pages and stuff, and then you have to make a user for it, and basically fill out your CV there and stuff like that, instead of just like uploading some documents there. And it will take you a long time to apply for one job, because you have to make a user all the time. And that's what really bothers me right now. But anyways, yeah, have some drafts ready so you can have at least some acceleration for your project. And then one thing that many people don't do is add all previous trainings to separate documents. That means that basically when you're not entry level anymore, when you're already gotten a job and your employer has sent you some kind of trainings, write them down immediately, like all these informative days or trainings or whatever, and self-studies, write them all in a separate document. And also, even if you are entry level, just make sure that if you are reading, like for example, the law of the country, the general law of the country, right, then just mark it down, that if you are already familiar with it, if you have read it all the way through, mark it down that it has been your self-study in this document. And then after that, maybe you can get an entry-level job in the law, and that would be very good. So I think this trainings is there is actually like a place in CV where you can write it, but there should be the main trainings that you had. But all the trainings list can be in a separate document, and that's a very good way to separate from the rest, because others are only sending the motivation letter and a good CV. So phone calls. Now that's a topic not for everybody, because obviously I probably realized that today's society, and I'm also actually very introverted person, I'm not going to just call to some random companies to ask if they have a job and beg for the job, right? So phone calls is a iffy topic, but I think if you are like calling to somebody and asking them some extra questions about this let's say this position, then actually the employer can notice you from the crowd. You had 200 people, other people applying for this job, and you can make a phone call and ask some extra questions about this position, and then you're already looking smarter and you're separating from the crowd. That's very important, because if you're in the crowd, then you're just one CV in another folder that they are going to dismiss later. But if you're having a phone call, you're making an impression about yourself. That's very, very good. So if there is a job opening and you phone call them, ask them extra questions, it's very, very nice. And another thing that you can do is even like you have a dream company that you want to work in. For example, I have seen that, okay, every day I pass by this building or something like that. I want to work there. Just call this company, like ask them, maybe you have some openings, or maybe you have something for me to do. They might find you a place, because I used to do that when I was going for my entry level job. Actually, I was watching the companies around the area, like from Google Maps, just search for it, and basically I was writing to them an email, and I got, obviously, like I didn't get replies from all of them, but I got replies from some of them, and they had me a summer job to do. So why not? Yes, it's a very good way to also notice these things, and especially when you do phone call, it's leaves a very good impression about yourself. You can write an email also, but I mean, with this, yeah. And fifth point is also very important, but important factor here is free, because the thing is that obviously, as I mentioned before, there might be some trainings and stuff that are costly, and you end up spending more than you actually gain from it. But if you are going to the free seminar or free event, or some kind of like event that is paying like, let's say 10 euros, 20 euros, might be paying off at some point, especially when it's about the jobs. It's about a job fair, for example. There's like, I don't know, hundreds of companies lined up to some with their own booths and stuff. So you can go there and speak with them. And they usually hire people that are actually very high, in a very high hierarchy in the company, to these kind of events, because they are not going to send you just some regular specialist there. They're going to send you this HR and maybe some manager of the company, or I mean CEO even, or yeah, middle manager or somebody like that. And you can make a good impression about it, about yourself. And in these job fairs, I've been also in these, and they are very, very, very impactful. There is things like you can introduce yourself, you can go speak what this company is about, you can make an impression for them, you can exchange contacts, you can even exchange phone numbers and do a phone call later. It's a very, very good way. And trust me, you might think that it's a waste of time, but actually it's not, because like if you say that you will be bored there and stuff, and you are too introverted to speak with them, even if you're there, there might be some people asking you that, are you with this kind of education? Or let's say, for example, at your university you have this kind of event that some employers come, and some of them maybe ask that if you have IT background, and then you are saying, yes, okay, yes, I have IT background, and then you can exchange contacts and stuff. You know, there might be everything happening there. And of course, if you're already paying like 20 euros for it, then you're not just going to sit by and enjoy the show, but you're actually going to speak with the companies, because that will be what's useful. If you don't speak with them, you don't know if they will be good. And you will have to speak sooner or later in the job interview, so why not to speak right away and make some contacts? I mean, very, very good way. I highly recommend this one. And then, way different scenarios. Home business, physical job, traveling, how long do I have? Yeah, that's one is also a very good way to basically, whether you write down or you keep it in your head, but you have to see what is important for you. If this is important for you, that like you know that you have 4 months left before you run out of money, then you will have to think that, okay, this is the most important thing for me, and I'm not finding any office jobs, but I'm still going to apply. Then you will have to do a physical job in the middle of it. You will have to apply, maybe do some, I don't know, some warehouse work, or this kind of driver work or whatever, courier. Do this kind of job until you are applying for the other jobs as well. So yeah, I think it's if it's important for you, that you know that you have 4 months left, then you can do this next 3 months or 4 months, you can do the physical job, and then maybe at the same time apply to some others, make some time even in the weekends, you can apply when you don't need to rest. But if you need to rest, then obviously rest. And the other thing is traveling. You should consider twice before you go traveling, especially if it's very risky to go to some other country to live there. And there should be some compensations, or you should have some kind of stuff ready in your plan and get this going. Of course, you can risk it, but with traveling, it's let's say there are some advantages that some people have there, because some people might be traveling a lot and they might be very successful in this, and going to some other country to live there with I don't know, taking only like 100 euros with them. But in general, it's a very big risk to do, and it usually works when you're let's say attractive person, right? So if you are very extroverted or very beautiful or very handsome, then of course you can try traveling and stuff. But if you're like, you know that you are introverted and you kind of need assurance for this, that you need to have a job first, or living first there, or something like that, or some kind of a sponsorship or a support, then you should weigh this kind of option. Then about own business is also that usually the businesses work with the money. You have to have money first, and believe it or not, but we don't usually have it, and we have to take a loan. And that's another thing that you consider, that how long does it take before your business goes profitable? It usually takes a couple of years. And how much free time do you have in case your business fails to apply for the other jobs? And so yeah, weigh out different scenarios, what you can do, what does this job would lead you to, because basically sub church is part of your life. It's a very important decision in your life. It's you're getting one job that you can stay there for like 3 years, for example, and that will define your future when you're working for this company. And yeah, you made this decision, and it's a very important decision in your life. It's more important than the school that you study in, because in the schools, as for the universities and stuff, there's only like so many of them, right? But for the companies, there is a lot in the world. So yeah, I think this is more important than the school, and obviously, like, it's good to have first at least a bachelor's degree to start applying to somewhere. But yeah, in case you want to do, what I've noticed is that actually these physical jobs you can do when you have higher education, but you need the diploma, university degree, the bachelor's degree for office job. So yeah, if in case your mission is office job, you should actually chase the bachelor's degree. But yeah, physical job might not be worst option, because sometimes some people, like let's say the people in the army, for example, or mechanics, or I don't know, some kind of railway constructors or whatever, get paid more than the office workers. So yeah, physical job might not be the bad idea, and this might pay off in the end. But yeah, I think with the physical job is that at some point you need to kind of retire, and yeah, that might be difficult. And then practice for the job interviews. That's usually, you might say that, yeah, I haven't gotten any job interviews or anything, and that might be a bad point to bring out, but actually I think it's still good to practice, because guys, really, job interviews is some ways, let's say, sorry, I'm getting a little bit worried. confusion here, but they're very important and they're repetitive, the job interviews, because if you're going to the job interview, you might have this same questions coming to you all the time. Like, let's say that you are applying to be a Python developer, that what was your first interest in Python, and so on. Like, you have to practice all these questions out. And yeah, I'm going to make another video about this topic as well, I guess. But yeah, it's good to practice out those questions that might be asked from you, and it might be good to practice in front of the mirror or start asking your own questions with the eye contact. Eye contact is also something that I personally also struggle with, but at the job interviews it hasn't been a problem so far, because at a job interview I'm kind of in a different state. But anyways, yeah, in a job interview, very important that you practice out those questions that might be asked from you. And if, let's say that you had 5 different places that you have worked in, they're going to ask you why. Is there so many places that you worked in? All these questions that are very general, and everybody wants to know. Everybody is very curious, and they want you to feel uncomfortable there. I mean, afterwards, so they can put you in a position what you would do in the situation of troubles. So yeah, I think practicing is important. I will make another video about this topic. But so far, yeah, we have another more bullet point here, and that's to have a list of companies. Now that's very important, because when you are studying like IT or something, and you know that you want to aim the IT companies, have a list about them. Have a list that follow them in LinkedIn and stuff, or make a list, your own Excel list about it. You can have hundreds of them there. Why not? Because you can go through each one of them and ask if they have a position available. I mean, you don't even, in the sense of IT, it's even better because it's worldwide. You can work, so you can be a digital nomad there and apply to some kind of US companies even. But documentation for you would be more difficult, because you might not, the contract might be different with the different laws, and that's what matters. And I'm going to talk about laws also, because but that will be for the next videos. That was about this situation for the job market right now, and how to shine out from there, because right now we all know that it's difficult. The situation is very difficult, and yeah, I hope you guys are doing well with this. And the next videos will be for about the laws and everything like that, job arguments. Even I will make videos about job search first, and then later I will make videos about when you're already working, so every person can see something from this channel that is useful for them. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Since this channel is brand new, then I don't like to beg for likes or anything, but yeah, at the first time I would say that if you really like this video, then please subscribe and like this one, so I can get going and I can spread this information for more people, because I think it's very important to know that those things, and I see that many people are struggling with this, and not only from the Western society but also from the other societies, and that's very big issue, that this economic collapse and stuff like that. So yeah, make sure that you enjoyed, and if you didn't enjoy, then obviously you don't have to watch for the next videos, but if you enjoyed, then let me know, and I can keep making this as my hobby from now on. Okay, see you guys.